Welcome to Freshman Orientation, Class of 2024. We wish that you and your families could be with us here tonight. We hope that you are all well. My name is Rachel Blount, your Assistant Principal, and tonight you will meet your guidance counselors, Ms. Truesdale, Ms. Lagarde. You'll meet the Department Instructional Lead, Ms. Manz. You'll meet your grade advisor, Ms. Byrne, as well as Mr. Butternagan, our Athletic Director. On behalf of our entire high school family, it is our pleasure to welcome you into the Monty High Panther family. While face-to-face interactions are on hold, I, with this team of professionals, are prepared to give you information tonight which will provide guidance to ease your transition. We are all adjusting to our new way of learning through our learning management system, Teams. I'm sure you're all familiar with it this week. You are not alone during this transition. Freshmen, just a gentle reminder, the high school is currently under construction, so therefore your classes will be downstairs in that 100 wing of the middle school. With that said, I'd like to share a few tips with you. Please wear your mask at all times, wash your hands frequently, use hand sanitizer, and physical distancing is a must. You will be receiving a lot of emails in high school. Check your emails daily. Parents, we know we send a lot of robocalls out. We need you to listen to those robocalls. There's lots of information going out almost on a daily basis now. We also have a lot of information on the district's webpage, so please check the webpage frequently. During this presentation, you will be able to ask questions in the chat, and Ms. Manz will be answering as many questions as she can, and we'll hold all other questions to the end of the presentation. I do want to give you some information that there will be a supply distribution on Thursday, September 24th, school-wide supply distribution from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. and Friday, September 25th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. At this time, I would like to introduce one of the freshman guidance counselors, Ms. Catherine Truesdale.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. First, I want to welcome our class of 2024. We are so excited to have you all here, and finally to have some life in the building with our students. As Ms. Blount said, I'm Catherine Truesdale, one of the 9th grade counselors. And here at Monticello, we're really lucky to have 2 counselors here for the 9th grade, myself and Ms. Lagarde. I know that transitioning to the high school can be daunting in the best of times, and with this added crisis, this transition could be overwhelming. Ms. Lagarde and I are here to provide you support anytime you need it, and we are happy to address any questions or concerns you may have. We look forward to working with you and your families to make the start of your high school career positive and productive. We want to help you build a strong foundation for your high school career and anything you have planned in the future. I can't wait to get to know all of you, and I'm so excited and proud to be your counselor this year. I hope together we can make this unprecedented school year excellent. My email and phone number will be listed at the end of the presentation, along with Ms. Lagarde's. Please feel free to reach out to us at any time, especially if you just need to talk, because we know as freshmen you'll have lots of questions and concerns that come up. Now, Ms. Lagarde regrets that she couldn't be here tonight, but she did put a video together for all of you to say hello.
Good evening, everyone. I am Mrs. Lagarde. I am one of the 9th grade school counselors here at the high school. I am so sorry that I can't be here tonight. I had a previous family obligation that I had to adhere to, but I look forward to this year ahead of us. I wanted to personally welcome you all to the high school as the class of 2024. Your freshman year is such a pivotal year during your high school career, and I am here to challenge you and support you through a successful first year. I hope you and your families are all doing well during these unprecedented times. This year is going to be a year like no other, but you are tenacious, you are resilient, and you can do this. I am so proud of you already. Ms. Truesdale and myself are here to support you and support your families unconditionally through this transition. I look forward to getting to know you and working with your families to make this a successful first year. Please don't hesitate to email me at blagarde@k12mcsd.net or by phone. My extension is 10963 with any questions, concerns, or if you just want to talk. We are always here for you. Together, we're going to make this a great year. Have a good night.
In addition, we also have Miss Manz, who I will let introduce herself.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Cheryl Manz, and I am the lead guidance counselor here at the high school. And I decided to join tonight just to support everyone and introduce myself. I don't have ninth graders on my caseload, but I do have students in grades 10 through 12 whose last names begin with the letters A, B, or C. So those of you who fit into that category will have me next year as you move to 10th grade. Monticello High School is a wonderful place to be. I came here 40 years ago as a brand new English teacher, fresh out of college, and I've never left because I love it so much. And our goal is to help all of you love it just as much as we do. We think of ourselves as a family, and we're so happy to welcome all of you to the Monticello High School family. So again, welcome. We are all here if you need us. Although I'm not a ninth grade counselor, if you ever need me, you can reach out. My extension is 10959, and my email is smanz@k12mcsd.net. Again, welcome to the high school. We're thrilled to have you here, and we are all committed to making these 4 years the very best years that you've had in school thus far. Now it's my pleasure to introduce your freshman class advisor, and she's going to follow you through all 4 years of high school. So she's a very important person in your lives, and she's a very positive force in the high school. So without further ado, Mrs. Byrne.
Hi, good evening, freshmen and families here now, and to those who will be watching this recording later. My name is Stephanie Byrne. I'm the high school librarian. As Mrs. Manz said, I'm also your advisor for the class of 2024. Now, I know this is not how you envisioned you would start this chapter, and I totally understand. I was the senior advisor for the class of 2020, so I acknowledge your disappointment of having to miss your 8th grade trip and all the pomp and circumstance of your moving up ceremony. I promise to do whatever I can to make this year memorable while we set goals for our future. I hope by now you discovered that you've been added to the class Microsoft team, which is a way for you to all reach out to me and where I will share all class announcements and information, like events like this, for example. Please let me know if you do not get added to that team for whatever reason. If I missed you, I will fix that immediately. I've already gotten to meet some of you through messages you've sent, and I see some of you here tonight. Hello. And I'm really looking forward to working with you all and getting to know you this year and beyond. And remember, you do have until Monday to put in for a class officer position, so please check the team and submit your nomination in the appropriate form. Do not hesitate to reach out to me anytime if you need anything, and I'm here for you, and together we'll be planning some wonderful experiences over the course of your high school career. I'm going to make sure all of you are involved and aware of what is going on. That is my goal. And I'm so excited to work with each of you this year. I wish you all and your families great success, happiness, and health this school year. And I think that I'll be introducing Mr. Butternagan. Is that right?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I am Mr. Butternagan. I am your Director of Physical Education, Health, and Athletics at the Monticello High School. I want to welcome you all, the freshman class of 2024. Like my colleagues have said, this year is going to be a unique one. We are all here to do our very, very best to make this experience as positive for you and ourselves as we can. We will be going forward as you'll be going forward together. It is going to be a trying time. I will encourage you all to do each and everything that you can to make the year as positive as you can. For those that are athletes, my contact information also will be at the end. If you have any questions, what's going on with Section 9 in athletics, feel free to reach out to me as your Director of Physical Education and Health. One thing I like to tell all freshmen when they come in here, these next 4 years are going to be a very, very exciting time for you. I think it's the most important thing that no matter what avenue we're going to go about our future is to make sure that we get off on the right foot. So when your classes do start, and they have started already, make sure that you're taking the step in the right direction. Your slate is clear and clean, and make this year as best and as positive you can. And again, anything you need, please feel free to call, email, or stop down at my office down by the high school gym. And I do look forward to meeting and working with each and every one of you. Welcome to the high school.
Hi again, everyone. Okay. Ms. Truesdale at this time is going to move forward with the PowerPoint presentation.
Hello again. And again, welcome to our class of 2024. Tonight, I'll be going over a lot of information. So this is being recorded, so you can refer back to it, or if you have a friend who didn't get to see it, you can send them onto the school website and it will be posted there. But tonight, we're going to go over some of the personnel that your children will see here at the high school, the Student Center, also affectionately known as Guidance, what the graduation requirements are for your children, different subjects you're going to see on their schedules now and how those play into the future, as well as what the schedule looks like, because I know there's been some questions about that. So let's dive right in. This is Mr. Wilder, our building principal, so the guy in charge. You will get to know him over the course of your child's high school career. He's very invested in Monticello. He's very invested in our students. He wants to know what's going on. His contact information is there. If you do have any questions or concerns, always feel free to reach out to Ms. Lagarde, myself, Ms. Blount. And if we don't have the answers, rest assured we will go to him and we will get them, or he'll go to the next person, but we will always find those answers for you. We have two assistant principals here at the high school. We have Ms. Boardman, and she will be working with our 10th and 12th graders this year. Ms. Blount, who you've already met, who will be working with your children in 9th grade. She also works with our 11th graders. One of the great things about our assistant principals is that they continue to move through the grade levels with students. So as your children progress through high school in 10th, 11th, and 12th, they will continue to have Ms. Blount as their AP. And as you've met, Mr. Butternagan, our athletic director, his contact information is there for you as well, because I know there's going to be lots of questions, like he said, about sports and what that's going to look like for this school year for our student athletes. All right, the Student Center staff or Guidance, where I am affectionately at home here in my office tonight as well. But we have 6 counselors. We're very fortunate that way. You met Ms. Manz earlier. She is one of our senior level counselors. In addition, we have Ms. Steinberg, Mr. Seidel, and Mr. Menino. As your children progress through high school, so once they promote into 10th grade, they will receive one of them as their senior level counselor, and they're disseminated by first initial of the last name. This year, it's Ms. Lagarde and myself. Ms. Lagarde will be working with students whose last names start with A through MD, and then I will have everyone with ME to the end of the alphabet. And again, our contact information will be at the end of the slides, so don't feel like you need to write it down quickly or anything, and it is all available on the school website. In addition to the counselors, we also have Ms. Uchuk, who is our guidance secretary. She is vital to the running of our office. Not only does she know where to find all of us at any given time, she's also in charge of working papers. So when your children are interested in getting that first summer job, this is the woman they're going to need to see. She also is in charge of making sure that names are spelled correctly on diplomas. So she's a very important person to know. In addition, we have 2 social workers who are here to help support our students, Ms. Rasmussen and Ms. Padir. Your children may work with them, they may not. It just depends on their needs throughout high school. Mr. Jankowski is our school psychologist. He is another person who will step in if anybody needs assistance. His main task that you will come across is that he does educational testing for our students who may be in need of more support educationally within the building. We have Ms. Pisanello, who is our career educator. As freshmen, you may not see her very often, but as you go up through the levels, you'll definitely be in contact with her more. She helps set up our college rep visits. This year they'll be virtual, but for our seniors to meet some of those reps from different schools. She'll help students sign up for the ACTs and SATs, as well as help them navigate FAFSA and just the general getting ready for college or writing resumes for jobs and things like that. Also, Miss Morgan Kenny, while she is not in the Student Center with us, we work very closely with her as she is a liaison for the McKinney-Vento program that helps some of our students who are in desperate need. Our role in the Student Center, you're all very familiar with what guidance does. We definitely are monitoring that academic progress. We get updates on students' grades every 2 weeks, and Ms. Lagarde and I are very diligent about reaching out when we see changes in students' grades that we go, that doesn't look quite like that normal grades we see for that student. And we're also looking for those students who are achieving really well so we can congratulate them, and those who might be struggling so we can look at what other academic supports we can put into place for them. We're also here for social, emotional, personal issues. High school is a really strange time for teenagers. They're becoming more independent. They're kind of separating from their parents a little bit. I'm sure some of you are already feeling that at home. And friend groups are changing, and that can cause a lot of different feelings and emotions to pop up during the school day. So the more we know, the more we can help. So we definitely encourage students to come to us with those things. I promise we're not going to gossip about you. We're in the strictest confidence here. What you tell us stays with us. We also help with career and vocational planning. Now we have this separated from college planning because we know not all students plan on going to college, and that's perfectly fine. College isn't for everyone. However, the goal here at Monticello High School is for all of our students to have a plan to make a livable wage for themselves so they can support themselves in the future. College planning, of course, can fall into that as well. So we help look at what is the college planning process, and that starts all the way in 9th grade, where we'll have students reflecting on their current work and how that can affect them in the college application process. We also help with testing and placements. We help administer the PSATs. We are usually here in the summer to help with college entrance exams. And like I mentioned, Mr. Jankowski, who helps with educational testing. So now we're going to get into the meat of it, the things that you want to know for high school and how you can support your child and what they need to do in order to graduate on time. So there's 3 main components of that. That's credits, courses, and testing. And I'll be going through each one of these in depth with you. The first one is credits. All students need a minimum of 22 credits in order to graduate. It is a minimum, and many, many of our students graduate with far more than 22 credits. This is just if they took the minimum amount of classes every year. We like to load up their schedules more, challenge them, find classes that they really enjoy, and get more of those elective credits to go over that 22. The course requirements are every student will need 4 credits in English, social studies, 3 in science and math. We will encourage students to go above and beyond this always, especially in science and math, because sometimes it happens that they take it in 9, 10, 11, and then they think, hey, 12th grade, I don't have to take math anymore. But we're definitely going to encourage them to continue because it's a vital life skill. In addition to those that we think of typical cores, all students will need at least 1 credit in art or music. Most of them take that in 9th grade, and you will see it in their schedules now. They'll need a half a credit in health. They can start signing up for that class in 10th grade, and we'll make sure that it gets in their schedule. We're very diligent about making sure they meet all their course requirements. PE, all students need at least 2 credits in PE, at least 1 credit in foreign language, and that leaves 3.5 elective credits. The 3.5 elective credits are anything above and beyond the ones that are here. So if they take an additional English class, that becomes an elective credit. If you have a student who's in orchestra and they play in 9th grade, that counts towards the 1 credit of art music. 10, 11, and 12 will count towards those elective credits. And that's how our students start to accumulate those more than 22. Testing requirements. So we have Regents starting in the high school. I know that some of your children were prepared to take them last year, and due to the circumstances, they were given exemptions. They will, as far as we know thus far, will be sitting for them this year. But all students are required to have a Regents in Science, Algebra, Global History, US History, and English Language Arts. Typically, they take them in the grades that I have listed here. Algebra depends on a course of study. Some of our students are in extended program. In addition, students can take the Regents more than one time. If they are unfortunately don't pass the first time, they can take it again. It doesn't necessarily mean they have to take the class. The two can be separated. So if a student passes their English but not the Regents, they can just retake the Regents, not everything. Okay. Passing score is a 65, just like it is in our grading policy. So that's the passing score for students. There are two types of diplomas that New York State awards to students. There is the Regents Diploma and the Advanced Regents Diploma. The courses that are needed for those classes come from the same math, English, science. It's still the same 22 credits, but as you can see here, the Advanced Regents Diploma has two additional math classes, math Regents, an additional science, and the foreign language. These are part of the reasons that we encourage students to continue further in their courses of study. The foreign language, in order to sit for that exam, they need to have 3 credits of foreign language. So that's why we encourage them to continue to level 2 and 3. The same things with geometry and algebra 2. We don't want to prevent any student from seeking this diploma. Now, I know foreign language can be very difficult for some students, and sometimes there's ways we can substitute that foreign language exam, but we would definitely talk about those one-on-one with you. If that's something that you do want to talk about, please feel free to reach out to Ms. Lagarde or myself, tomorrow in the coming weeks, and we can definitely go over those with you. Course selections, the classes that you're going to be seeing in your kids' schedules. We have 3 math classes that our students will be taking as 9th graders, one of the 3. They have Algebra 1A, Algebra 1, and Geometry. Algebra 1A and Algebra 1 are the same course. They have a Regents at the end of the year. The Algebra 1A with lab is for students who may need additional support. So there's an extra period built into the day where they can review, work with their teacher, go over homework, maybe go over parts of the test, ask more in-depth questions, and get that support because we know that exam is coming at the end of the year. The Algebra 1 does not have the lab at the end, or does not have the lab attached to it. And geometry is for the students who took algebra last year. These are our math teachers. As we go through our slides, there will be pictures of our teachers in all of our different courses of study, because we know since it is a different kind of year, you might not, connect names to faces as quickly as you would if you were sitting in the classroom. So we just wanted to give you some familiar faces to look at. For science this year, students will either be in living environment or earth science. Living environment is a biology-based course. That is what most of our freshmen will be in. And earth science is for geology studies, and it is also the science that our students who were in living environment last year are taking this year. They are done in sequence to each other. And all of our lovely science teachers. In English, we have 2 levels of English, ELA 9 and ELA 9 HP. They're going to be learning very similar things in there. The HP course is an honors placement. It usually moves at a slightly faster pace and has a lot more independent work attached to it. The honors level placement is determined by a student who has earned an 85 or above consistently over the 8th grade year and with a teacher recommendation. Read 180 is a program that we continue here in the high school. Some of you may be familiar with it from the middle school. We determine placement off of NWEA scores. Since we didn't really have the spring NWEAs last year, we also took a look at how students were doing in Read 180 last year to determine if they needed this placement. Being able to comprehend what you're reading is such a vital skill that we want to support our students as much as we can in that life skill so they can be successful. All of our English and Read 180 teachers. Okay. Social studies is separated very much the same way that our English is. So you'll hear us call it a couple of different things: Social Studies 9, Global 1. They're all interchangeable names. Now, Social Studies Global History is a 2-year course, so there's Global History 1 and Global History 2. The honors placement, again, is for those students who are consistently 85s and above and with a teacher recommendation. Now, if you have a child who is in 9th grade Global Studies this year, and then they would like to be considered for honors placement in 10th grade, they still have an opportunity to move into that honors placement program by earning those 85s and above and getting their 9th grade teacher's recommendation. And our 2 social studies teachers. Language other than English. Here in the high school, we offer Spanish to our students, and any students who were either not in a foreign language or MS Spanish last year were placed in Spanish 1 this year to start working towards that credit that they need for graduation. Those students who were in Spanish 1 last year, we definitely encouraged them and scheduled them into Spanish 2 because we want them to continue on, work towards that advanced Regents Diploma. And also learning a second language can be so helpful, especially in this global economy where we're all communicating with each other all over the world. It's really a great skill for students to have. We also have a native speakers program that our students who were native speakers last year can continue with. So we have our Spanish teachers. In addition, we have Miss Veal and Miss Byrne here. They are our ESL teachers. So they are here to support our students who are learning English as their second language. They both have individual classes with those students. They also push into classes to help support them as well. PE. So it is a graduation requirement. Everybody has to take PE. And students have to be in a physical education class for every year they attend high school. It's worth a half a credit each year. So that's how we end up with the 2. And it's one that you can't advance in. So you can't say, as a 10th grader, I'm going to take PE twice in 1 year, so then I don't have to take it as a senior. It does have to be every year that you're attending. I always get that question every year. And our physical education teachers. Okay. Now we're going to talk about electives. So these are courses that students got to choose this year to participate in. And most of them fulfill the art music requirement. So studio art is the first of our visual arts courses. It is the prerequisite for all the others, and it's an intro to art. So they're going to learn about some of the history of art, how to critique, how to examine. They're also going to create art, drawing and painting, and maybe some sculpture. And I know some students said, well, I'm not very good in art. I don't think I want to take that class. Your skill level isn't always determined how you will be graded in the class. It's how much effort you put forth. And that's true of all your classes. The harder you work, the more reflective that will be in your grades. And these are our 2 studio art teachers. Okay. Now we have the performance arts, or what we would typically think of as music courses. You're all very familiar with band, orchestra, and chorus, as those have been throughout really elementary school, and then definitely band and orchestra, late elementary into middle school, and we continue those here at the high school. In addition, we have performance skills, and that's an intro to music course. So if you were interested in learning how to read and write music, this is definitely the course for you. Oh, excuse me. And there's also a performance element involved in that class as well. We also offer a dance program that starts with Dance 1. Now, if students are part of a company outside of school, we definitely would like to know that because we may be placing them differently with the dance teacher's recommendations. But if you've never been in a dance company and you're very interested, Dance 1 is where you would start. It is an intro to dance, so it's all different genres. So be prepared to try out some ballet and some street and some hip hop and contemporary. And then we have emerging ensembles, and that's by teacher recommendation only, but it's small chamber groups. Okay. And our performance skills teachers. In addition, we have technology. This falls under the art music credit, so it's definitely for students who are looking for something more technology-based, they can still meet that credit through this course. And design and drawing for production, the best way to explain it is a technical drawing course. So this is, how do I draw something so someone can build it? So it's that architectural kind of design that goes into that. And Mr. Waddell is our teacher for that. In addition, we have our Business and Academy of Finance program. Now, these classes are open to freshmen. When we ask students to select their courses, we usually ask them to pick a course in the art music line so they can meet that requirement first. And then if they have extra room in their schedule and they've requested the Academy of Finance, then we'll put that one in, because unfortunately it doesn't meet that art music credit, so it counts as electives. However, the Academy of Finance is a nationally recognized program. So if a student is involved in the program and when they're looking at applying to schools, they put that in. That is something that college representatives will recognize. And this year, because we rotate what's available to freshmen every year, we have hospitality and tourism and sustainable tourism, which I think are going to be really interesting topics this year, given just what's happening in the world right now and how these industries are being affected because of that. But hospitality and tourism is looking over what's going on in that industry right now. It's going to look at the history, how it's changed, how demand has changed, and what is it that motivates people to go to these places? What motivates people to go to Disney? What motivates someone to go glamping? And how do they drive their business to appeal to those types of people? Sustainable tourism is going to look more at how does the tourism affect the area that people are coming to, both environmentally and socioeconomically. We know that there are certain places that thrive on tourism. That's their main source of income. So it's going to look at how that impacts that. And also places that, aren't really touched by humans very often are becoming more and more popular. And what is that doing to the ecosystems there? They're going to explore both of those. Both of these classes are a half-year course. So students would be scheduled into hospitality and tourism the first half of the year, and then sustainable tourism the second half. I hope I'm not going too fast for anyone. And our AOF teachers. And our school library. So it's a little different this year. I know Miss Byrne has some great plans for the library, but there's so many resources online when it comes to research, because we all know we're not supposed to use Wikipedia anymore. So Miss Byrne can help you find other ones that are much more reliable, but she has the website there. She has a team for the library that you can all join, so you should definitely check that out. She's got those ebooks, those audiobooks. She can definitely probably tell you the myriad of amazing things that you can do online through the library. And she is your freshman class advisor, so you guys will get to know her really well, and you'll probably know all about the different things that she can offer you pretty quickly. Okay, scheduling, the actual structure of the day. I know it's different this year than you're used to. So this schedule that you have in front of you right now is for Mondays and Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays. So you can see here we have this homeroom time from 7:05 to 7:30. As you know, there's more than one bus run happening. So this is a time where the students can get in the building, get to their classroom assignment, as well as eat their breakfast. Students are staying in the same classroom throughout the day. So that quick changeover time from homeroom of 7:30 to first period 7:31, they're not having to run through the hallways in a minute to get somewhere. They will already be in their place of assignment. The periods are broken up because teachers will be rotating to them. So that's why we still have the bells ringing and kind of a schedule going through. The second homeroom at the end of the day is, again, because of those multiple bus runs, we dismiss students at different times. Wednesday, we have a slightly different schedule because, as you all know, everybody's home. So we can get the building ready for the next group of students coming in. So everything's been pushed back an hour and there's no more homerooms. So we start at 8:31 and end at that 3:15. All right, so here we are at the end. I'm sure there's probably still some more questions that we'll definitely go through and help answer. But here's all of our contact information. Anything that you need, please feel free to reach out. In addition, our curriculum bulletin is posted online on the high school website. you can go through any of those courses that I talked about tonight and review them. In addition, you'll be able to see those courses and how they play into other ones going forward. So that, because they are a lot of prerequisites to our higher level maths and arts and music. So you'll be able to read about all of those there as well. So this concludes my part of the presentation. I believe that we are turning it over to Courtney for any questions that we haven't been able to answer yet.
That is correct. Good evening, everybody. I'm Courtney Bonfanti. I am the Communications Director for the district. Anyone who has any questions, please drop them into the chat. If you look at the bottom of your Zoom screen, you should see a chat icon. You can simply click that and then input your question there, and we will pass them along to Mrs. Blount to answer. And we'll just give it a minute to see what questions we get. So we received our first question. How do students do physical education when they're in the remote learning plan?
It'll be virtual. All our physical education teachers are providing physical education virtually, the same way as many of the other classes are. It's a hybrid model. It's something new that we're all getting used to. The first week or so is going to be more of a less an introduction, getting a feel of it. But our physical education staff will be working with students who are home to provide physical education to them.
Okay, our next question is about devices. Will students need to bring their own devices to school, such as laptops?
If students have their own device, they're more than welcome to bring their device. We have been distributing devices since last week, and we've distributed about 600, and we have about maybe 40 to go. So if you do need a district device, please contact the AP office, and my extension is 10929. But you're more than welcome to use your own device.
Okay, our next question, are students supposed to sign into Homeroom if they are learning remotely?
No.
Okay, folks, and there's also some guidance counselors. Some of our guidance counselors are in the chat tonight answering your questions, so please do take a look there to see if your question has been answered. The next question that I have is, if a child is supposed to attend school but stays home due to a cold or some other illness, will they still be able to attend classes so that they're not marked absent using the remote system? So in other words, if a student who's typically enrolled in the hybrid class is home for illness, can they join in on the virtual remote option?
That would be a question for that teacher. There's definitely a possibility that that student can be completing assignments if they are home ill, and you can speak directly to that teacher. Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just reviewing these questions because we do have our counselors in. I just want to make sure everyone's question has been answered. Okay, so we have a question about students moving from classroom to classroom. Can you just clarify, will freshmen be staying in the same class with the teachers coming to them, or are freshman students going to be moving from class to class?
Freshmen and all students will remain in the same class. The teachers will be going from class to class. and lunch will be provided in the classrooms as well. There'll be someone coming around in the morning to take lunch orders.
Okay, we'll give it another minute to see if we get any other questions. Kamari, can you just, YP, what does that acronym stand for? Can you please clarify that for me? We have a question about how, what and how do you YP? I don't know if that is an acronym you're familiar with, Ms. Blount. Otherwise, I will wait for Kamari to, oh, it looks like it might have been an error. I'm just waiting for Kamari to clarify his question.
Okay. I was going to ask Ms. Truesdale.
I'm wondering if it's how do you pay, maybe, when it comes to lunch, but since we have the free lunch program, that's not something that we have to worry about, I think. I hope that answers the question.
If not, Kamari, just feel free to put in another question. So if, oh, I'm sorry, we got quite a few all at once, so I just want to make sure that I don't skip anyone.
So if I could intervene, I am the worst typist in the world, so it might be a little easier for me just to answer a question rather than try to type it. So somebody said in the chat that Dr. Evans said that if you have a cold, you should stay home. So how do you navigate that? And as Ms. Blount said, all of the students will have all of the teachers' email addresses. So in the morning, if a student has a cold, the sniffles, maybe a little sore throat, but under normal circumstances, if we weren't in the midst of a pandemic, they would come to school. My suggestion would be to reach out to the teachers and say, hey, have a little cold, not feeling 100%, and I'm following what Dr. Evans said. Could you send me a link so I can participate in the class? Or send me the work so that I can do it independently. And I'm certain that the teachers would do that because everybody's goal is to have the students keep up with all of their work. So that makes the best sense, I think.
Thank you, Ms. Manz. The next question that I have is, will the teachers going class to class be there, meaning the students' specific teachers, or could it be anyone from that subject area?
Starting next week, there will be teachers in front of the students that are physically here. And I'll give you an example. If there are 8 students in the class, they may all have that teacher in front of them, or 6 of them may have that teacher in front of them. The other 2 may be working remotely with their teacher on the computer. So we will have a mixed bag sometimes.
So with the students not moving quite as much as they would in a typical day, will there be any break for movement, or is there going to be any movement allowed for the students?
There will be breaks and there will be mass breaks. And when the teacher gives them the orientation, they'll get that information from the teachers.
What room do students report to on the first day of hybrid learning?
We'll have different professionals at the student entrances and we'll all have student lists. It will not be the classroom that is on their schedule. We will check the list and we will direct the student to the appropriate class.
We're going to give it another minute to see if we have any new questions. If you haven't heard me read your question, please take a look at the chat as our guidance counselors have been answering several questions there. Should students bring their own hand sanitizer?
We have plenty of hand sanitizer in the building, but they're more than welcome to bring their own as well. There's going to be hand sanitizer in the classrooms, in the entrances, but it wouldn't hurt for them to have their own.
So can you clarify, a student who is in class during the hybrid model, will they still have an element of virtual learning? So will they, whether or not they are physically in school, will they still be following the virtual model, but from in school?
It's a possibility, yes.
If hybrid does not end up working out for the student, can they change to the remote cohort before the semester is over?
Yes.
And how could they go about requesting such a change if they were moving to if they wanted to request to move to the remote option?
Call or email their guidance counselor. Is that correct, Ms. Manz?
That's correct, yes, and we'll facilitate that.
We're going to give it just another minute to see if we have any additional questions.
I do see one from Kamari again asking about parent portal. Kamari, I'll give you a phone call tomorrow. I'm actually your counselor, so I will reach out to you personally and help you guys navigate that, all right?
How will classes like gym and dance take place if the students are not going to be moving around?
Mr. Butternagan?
Trying to unmute myself. Yeah, once again, we still have physical education teachers, our dance teacher. They will be doing stuff remotely, whether it is online assignments or virtual. We are keeping our fingers crossed, that we can provide a solid foundation that when return is possible, we can continue moving forward from the point we're at. But everything has worked out well so far. And again, if you have any questions, please give a call because it's probably easier for me to explain with the teacher there present to show how it's being done. But it is, still a little bit of work in progress, but we are getting there.
And we have a parent who's asking the same question, but just in regards to band and chorus. How is band and chorus going to be handled?
So the instructors of those courses will meet with students individually to give them lessons. So they'll still have that one-to-one with lessons. It'll just be virtual. Someone asked a question, and you can see my typing skills again. I can't capitalize and have lowercase correctly, but in terms of students having their specific teachers, the guidance department put together the schedule, and that is very difficult, pretty much impossible to have them see all of their specific teachers. But what will happen, let's say a student has Mr. Bonsek for Global Studies 1, for Social Studies 9. If it couldn't be arranged for Mr. Bonsek to be in a student's particular class, Mrs. Sagnes, who also teaches Social Studies 9, pushes into that classroom. So they have somebody who teaches that specific course, who can answer questions for them. And because our courses are all curriculum, so while teachers might have different teaching styles, they're still teaching the exact same curriculum. One teacher could help them with another, and with another teacher's course. And then they'll still see Mr. Bonsek remotely on the days that they're not in school. So it should be a pretty smooth facilitation of the classes. I hope that helps.
I don't see any new questions. Somebody did ask, and I'm just going to repeat for the benefit of the group if anyone's looking, a clarification on the supply dates, supply distribution dates. If you navigate to the web page, it is on the district's calendar, all the dates and times for that. It is also listed as a news item on the high school's page. Now, just to follow up, Ms. Manz, to the question of the teachers, will grading only be done by the student's assigned teacher?
Yes. Oh, the light just went out in my office. I guess I'm not moving around enough. Yes, the student's assigned teacher will do all of the grading. The student will hand all work into their assigned teacher. But if another teacher is in their classroom, that teacher can answer questions and help with the assignments and help direct the students.
While I'm waiting to see if any last minute questions roll in, I do want to remind everybody that this is going to be recorded and it's going to be posted on the high school's website for you to reference in the future. I do not see any additional questions, so I'm going to turn this back over to Ms. Blount to close out.
Thank you, Courtney. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We are so excited to meet you all. We will meet you all that are coming in for hybrid next week, and I'll be outside greeting you at the entrance. You'll come in near the middle school and walk down that way. I'll be out there with some other staff members as well. Maybe Ms. Byrne will join me. We thank you for joining us this evening. We have a fantastic staff here at Monty High, and we can't all wait to meet you. Thank you, and have a good evening. Bye. They can't say bye-bye.
Bye.
but
Thank
they're
you.
waiting virtually.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Night. Can't wait to see you all.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.